What's up, everybody? So I've had a lot of people ask me to do an updated video after having had my new ZTS2 54-inch Cub Cadet mower with the steering wheel for almost the last year. So this year I have done a lot of cutting, and before I kind of touch on some of the aspects of the mower, the good, the bad, the ugly, I'm going to power wash all this grass off of it, as you can see here. So if I had to give you any cons at all, the only cons that I would have is this right here. Sometimes loosens. This adjustable, not much, but I know that's not much of a con, but that's really about my biggest complaint. I understand why these guards are there and the importance of it, but man, these things get in my nerves. They collect so much grass and thatch that you end up having to scoop it all out. I literally, as you saw at the beginning of the video, was raking all the grass, and that's from the last several cuts. Now this here, this deck wash, I have never used it. I just clean it off with the power washer, and I just kind of keep most of the grass out from underneath it. So most of you have heard me say before, but it takes me about 6 hours to do the yard once a week. So as you can see, so you imagine 6 hours a week, once a week. The mower is actually in really good shape. I've had no issues with the tires, no issue with the deck. The one thing I have had to do is to replace the mower blades one time. That's just because of my stupidity, where I accidentally hit a tree stump, or that I thought I cut low enough. But as far as the blades, I've never switched to the mulching blades. I've always just kept the regular cut blades. But honestly, guys, I hate to disappoint you, but this mower has been good to me. So if you're considering getting you a Cub Cadet with the steering wheel, I think it's a good purchase. I love the fact that you have the steering wheel, because as you can see over here, I have a few hills, not much, but the difference between a regular mower with the steering wheel versus the regular handles is with this mower you have 4 wheels on the ground. With the other one you only have the 2 back ones. You know, the mowers where you actually push the handles back and forth, the regular 0 turns. But honestly, I'm pleased with it. I mean, that sounds bad. I wish I had something negative to say, but I don't. The one thing I have not done is an oil change yet. Overall, this thing is still in good shape. Starts every day. Never had any battery issues last year. I probably should have winterized it, meaning disconnected the battery and all that, but I didn't. Started right up in the spring. And again, that could just be because it's brand new, has a really good solid Kohler motor. But just to give you a couple extra tidbits that I've learned with this mower. So a full tank of gas gets me about 2.5 hours of cutting. I could probably get 3 hours of cutting out of a full tank of gas. I'm a little anal about it because the property is so big. I don't want to be way over there on the property and run out of gas. But I usually fill up after about 2.5 hours. It usually takes me to do this property, which is, like I said earlier, about 6 hours of cutting. I probably use about 6-7 gallons, a full 5-gallon one, and probably a half of another 5-gallon container to get the entire yard done. So, but again, I feel bad making this video because I guess that's a good thing if you're considering buying one. I do not have a lot of negative things to say about this particular mower. Crazy about it. As you can see, I installed these handrails because I wanted something to be able to keep my weed whacker on the mower, so when I'm out and about I can just jump off the mower and do what I need to do. I had to drill a couple of holes here, as you can see. I'm not crazy about that, but I also used some silicone to keep water from getting down in there and having it rusting from the inside out. A lot of complaints. One thing I will say that I just thought of, I'm about due for another blade replacement or blade sharpening because I've kind of beat the blades up. But this year, I'm telling you, when you have to cut 6 hours a week on top of weed whacking, I'm exhausted. Not that I got 1,000 other things to do, and this year has been the first year where I'm just like, I just want to get it cut. So I've left the grass underneath the mower, which I know you're not supposed to do because that grass will eat away at your deck and rust it out over time. So other than the few things that I mentioned, totally stoked with this mower. I would have loved to have gotten a 60-inch or even bigger. I believe they went up to a 60-inch in this model, but you figure after about a year, it still looks good. I haven't beat it up too bad, and I'm usually kind of rough on mowers because, like I said, when you have a big property, you just want to get done. But for the most part, this thing has held up really well. Very pleased with it. If you're thinking about getting this particular mower and you haven't made your decision yet, I recommend this 100%. And again, Cub Cadet is not paying me. It's just a good mower. And if you have any kind of hills at your property, you will appreciate having 4 wheels on the ground versus 2 on a normal 0-turn mower. Again, make sure you like this video if you haven't already. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Love you guys, and I will check you on the next one later.